and welcome to episode 4 of Zentalk. Today we're going to change the format a little bit. We're going to have a question and answer session. From time to time, we receive shareholder questions through our investor relations email address, or I get them directly. And we want to make sure that we stay on top of investor concerns to the greatest extent possible. Obviously, there's a lot of information we can't share at certain times, but where there is color that we can fill in, I'm happy to do it. So today I want to bring on another member of our business development team, Jacob Henderson. Jacob's been largely responsible for the revamp in our social media strategy. And Jake is here today to ask some questions that have come in over the past few weeks. Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Greg. Why don't we jump right into the first question? Why has Zentek not yet completed a sales and distribution agreement with Camfil, especially after receiving a tip-off about their UL accreditation?
So it has been in the market for a few months now that Camfil has gone forward and received UL certification for Zenguard coated filters. That is public information that's out there. I can't comment with respect to the status of any negotiations, relationship with them. Once, if and when something is completed, we will make an announcement to the market. However, I want to make sure that our investors or potential investors understand the level of complexity involved in bringing a new product like Zenguard to market in terms of understanding of the product, the testing that's required, the validation, not only our validation, but a potential partner's validation, the markets that they're looking to bring it to, the logistics around where the Zenguard coating would actually get applied. Would it get applied in North America? Would it get applied internationally? If it got applied in North America, would that be for shipping internationally? What are the logistics around that? What does that do to profit margins? What does it do? There are literally dozens and dozens of considerations, particularly when you're talking about a product like Zenguard that is so disruptional. This will be disruptional to the HVAC industry as we know it now. And there's many, many considerations involved, not only for our partners, but for ourselves. We want to make sure that we do the best deals possible for Zentek shareholders.
Great, thanks, Greg. So we touched on something that's a little bit closer to going to market. And why don't we back up on the TRL pipeline and discuss Zen Armor? So this question comes in and says, will the use of green walnut shell extract in Zen Armor require additional testing, potentially delaying its deployment by another year for cold/warm sea trials?
So the green walnut shell pigment was something that our scientists developed in the anti-corrosion space. This is a pigment, or a form derivation of that pigment is currently being tested, or is being tested in the ISC challenge that we announced last year. That challenge has been completed, the data is being compiled, and we should receive a report in the coming weeks on that. After we've had a chance to analyze it, we'll make an announcement to the market. When you're dealing with pigments, there are many, many, many different formulations that we utilize. And our scientists are constantly, there's an iterative process where they continue to test these pigments over time to try and improve them, changing the conditions, whether it could be for dry air, for moist air, salt content, is it underwater? What is the substrate that it's going on to? The announcement or the information that was in the market is just the patent. We filed a patent over 2 years ago, and it goes through various stages as it's being adjudicated. The only thing that happened is it was moving along the adjudication pathway. So just to be clear, a patent has not been granted on that yet. However, it is proceeding towards the final adjudication by the examiner.
Thanks, Greg. It's a great overview. So moving on to the next question. Apparently, there's an analyst forecast of 72 million plus in revenues for this fiscal year at Zentek. Has this come as a result of guidance from somebody at the company?
I am not aware of any analyst forecast for 72 million in revenue. What I can tell you is Zentek is not currently providing any guidance to the market, to analysts, to anybody with respect to revenue. Once we have additional clarity on that, we will obviously start beginning to make our revenue projections known publicly. But at this time, I just want to reiterate that I am not aware of any analyst that has a $72 million revenue projection. And I can tell you unequivocally, it has not come from anybody within Zentek if somebody does have that type of number out there.
Okay, let's move on to our fourth and final question. So, when can shareholders expect Zentek's IP portfolio to start generating revenue and lead to a rise in the share price?
Our number one priority at Zentek now is revenue generation, all the way from the C-suite to the business development team to the operations team. Through the entire company, our number one priority is to generate revenue. And we have announced recently that we are looking internationally, moving internationally. We have products that now meet criteria in certain jurisdictions that allow us to start selling them. And our team is working diligently to make that happen. With respect to other products, again, we continue to move them along the development pathway. We are talking to numerous potential partners in a number of different areas. But until there is something concrete there, we can't really talk about it. And, as I said, I'll just go back. We know that we need to deliver revenue, and that is our number one priority. And we won't take our eye off that focus.
Thanks, Greg. That's the last question that we have for today. Appreciate all your answers, and I'm sure the shareholders do as well.
Thanks, Jake, and thanks for joining us. And I look forward to having you in future episodes of Zentalk. We will be changing the format from time to time. As I said, if you have questions that you want answered or concerns you have, please send them in. We don't look to edit them. We like to answer them as they come in. So please feel free to send it to our investor relations email address. And in upcoming episodes, we'll be talking about the Albany deposit, about battery technology, and we have purposely put Aptamers out until the 5th or 6th episode. We will have lots of news coming on Aptamers as well. So we look forward to bringing you up to speed in future episodes. Thanks. And again, remember to subscribe below to our YouTube channel so that you can be the first to find out all things Zentek. Have a good day.